Hidden behind a sliding door and 3 crates of night creepers lies a place no collector speaks of, an off-the-books facility where duplicates dwell, variants wait in silence, and the rarest of the redundant plot their return. You've entered the Backstock Blacksite.
Hello everyone and welcome back to Anything Joe's, a collaborative journey through the world of G.I. Joe. My name is Greg Engel and I'll be your host today. Today on Anything Joe's, we are starting a new segment. I am the king of starting and abandoning new ideas, but it's the only way I could really get an idea of what people want to watch. And Jaron is basically in full prep mode for his missionary trip, which is coming up, and I don't want the show to go on a hiatus. But I also don't love doing the show without Jaron, because he's the other half of he's the co-host. It's not the same without him. So we're going to try some stuff. We'll see what works. This is an idea I'd come up with a long time ago, but didn't have time to film or slot in. Wasn't really sure if there would be any interest in it. But in the interest of some content versus no content, I thought maybe you guys would go along with it. Backstock Blacksite is a chance for me and you to explore an area in my hobby room that doesn't get discussed very often. It's this closet directly behind me. Well, this closet, and then it goes much further that direction. This closet is the only storage space I have in my hobby room for G.I. Joe stuff. Well, anything really, but mostly it's all G.I. Joe stuff. And because of that, it primarily consists of unopened product that I don't have room for, is too valuable to be opened in my opinion. I've got a lot of minute on card figures, mostly FSS stuff. But anyway, there's a lot of crazy unusual things out there that I just didn't have room for out here yet. And I thought you guys might enjoy looking through some of it. Some of stuff, it can be from absolutely any era. I've collected G.I. Joe my entire life, so there's no telling what will come out of here. Some stuff I will open. I'm trying to put pressure on myself internally to unbox some of this stuff just to make some space, and I think it will be a more entertaining watch. And so anyway, that's the gist of it. It's just short episodes where we're looking at something random, and maybe you'll be into it, maybe you won't. I hope you guys like it. And I've already picked out something from the closet today to unbox. That's right, we'll be opening something. It's not exceptionally valuable, but and it's from the modern line. It is the Night Specter with Grand Slam, which apparently cost me $19.99 in March 23rd, 2009, is how long I've had that. That label tells me that it almost certainly came from a comic book shop, and if I looked at it hard enough, it looks like maybe it came from The Great Escape in Louisville, Kentucky, which is a comic book shop that also sells toys and music and movies, and is pretty well known in the area, I think. The only reason I didn't open the Night Specter is because I have so many sharks already, and it was one of those things where at the time I was probably really crunched for space, so I just have left it in the box. And then it's eventually you look up and it's been 5, 8+ years, and you think, well, why should I open it now? It's made it this long in the box. But that's a whole different story about boxing and unboxing. But we will be opening this one today. I want to look at the box itself a little bit and talk about the character. We won't get too deep into the weeds because that's kind of what File Card Focus is for like really deep dives on the characters and whatnot. So I thought it would be interesting to look at something. 2009 I know is further away than it used to be, that's for sure. It doesn't feel like that long ago, but I just thought it would be fun to have an older toy out of the box. And of course I'll be challenged to find somewhere to display it, but we'll figure that out when we get to it. So let's talk about the shark in general first as I open, because you guys won't be able to see some of the opening just because of the size of it. According to Yojo, which can sometimes be a little off nowadays, this is an original mold. What does that mean? Well, it means that the shark, when it came out in '84, they built a cast to make it, and every time they make something is the shark, the night, whatever they call the night shark. It's not called the night. It's not called this. I know. they reuse that mold, right? The Night Force Shark is the same thing. It's just a repaint, and they would do that multiple times. In fact, according to this shark mold has been used a total of 7 times, maybe more than that, because there are Yojo's out of date now. Everything that came out kind of at the end of the modern line isn't on here. So, in order of shark releases, the 1984 Shark, the OG, and then in 1988 we got the Nightshade, which is the Night Force Shark. In 1990 we got the Sky Shark, which is the Sky Patrol one with the chrome. And then after that we start to get into the like modern era releases. They released the Wave Crusher, which is the Cobra version of it. That was like from the, again, I call that the Big Lots years, because in 2001 the only place I could find G.I. Joe stuff was at a Big Lots. In 2008 they released the Night Specter, which is this. And also they put out the Shark Tooth, which is just the shark. They just didn't own the name for it anymore. And according to this, lastly, the last one that came out in 2015 was called a Cobra Wave Crusher, which was a Collector's Club exclusive, and so very, very rare. So, this mold, in theory, is the original shark, which is one of the things I kind of like about the modern line is that occasionally you'd get a winner. Like, it would be the legitimate OG mold, and they had not changed hardly anything other than the color scheme. So, if you weren't a modern collector, there were still some vintage gems, I think. Like, this is essentially would work with any vintage figure. It was just a cool repaint. So, 25th anniversary was still going on at this time, despite the fact that it's 1982 to 2007, and I bought this in 09. I guess maybe it was secondhand then. This is part of the Attack on Cobra Island series. What does that mean? Well, it means it was a Target exclusive at that time, and you could only get it through Target. That might have been why I didn't get it when it first came out. I probably had to buy it secondhand because it was really hard to find these Target exclusives at that time. Right. So, we saw the front, right? I mean, I've already taken it out, so there's not much to see anymore. On the side, got pretty cool. Looks like the original art. I think they still had access to a lot of this stuff at the time, and were smart enough to use it. And they repainted it a little bit. It's like got that. It looks black, so they did a little touch up on it. Here's what it's supposed to look like out of the box, and you can see that they were also plugging. Looks like the Hiss tank. Sorry, I'm trying to like peek under my own camera. The Cobra Hiss with Cobra Driver, not Rip It, so yeah, a regular generic troop, and then an All Striker with Crankcase. Tell me if you've heard that one before. The All Striker is probably the most reproduced vehicle from this line. I mean, there are many, many, many All Strikers out there, but this is up there. So we already know we've got a Silver Pads Grand Slam. This was a figure that had been used multiple times and repainted. Some of the interesting stats on the back of this box include the gull wing canopy opens with removable engine cover, pivoting rudders, slide levers to elevate cannons, and removable torpedoes. All the things we remember and loved about the original Shark are supposed to be apparent on this as well. I'd be interested to see how the levers work compared to how a vintage one works now. We'll not spend too much time on the file card because historically these file cards have been almost verbatim the exact same text as the original, and this is pretty much the exact same thing. Primary military specialty is artillery, secondary specialty is electronics engineer. He's from Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin. Grand Slam received initial training in conventional artillery and served with a 155mm battery. 155mm? Maybe I'm saying that wrong. Sorry. Graduated Special Weapons School, top of class, specialized education artillery school, advanced tech school, qualified expert M16, M1911A1, and the HAL, the heavy artillery laser. He's soft-spoken and calm, just a bit shy, intelligent, loves to read escapist fantasy, science fiction, and comic books. These original file cards were so bare bones. I forget, every time I go back and look at a file card like 84, it's just, there's almost nothing there. Shout out to all the people out there that open their toys just like they did when they were children, and they just rip them open. They're basically the same way. I'm not going to take all the little stuff out of this, but I did want to show how cool it was that they used to do these sweet little backdrops. Those are what the Hiss tanks, I think, looked like around that time in the back there. They might have had a different name, or maybe these are Sidewinders because they've got those long treads. Anyway, I just think that's a nice little touch that they used to put that in the back as you can make a diorama out of that if you wanted to. I'll probably end up breaking that down and saving it. I got will save that box also. Even when I open something, I try to keep all of that stuff. I've got a weird little assortment of modern, like, file work. So let's look at all the other little stuff before we get into the shark itself. No blueprints, which is a bummer, but I guess they maybe weren't doing a whole lot of that. We did get this sticker sheet, so we know where our labels go. We'll not be doing that today because I do not have the patience for it. I didn't then, and I don't now. But it's cool that it's just nice to see an old. I mean, like, it's funny that these are considered. I mean, I don't consider these to be newer anymore because they don't make them like this. So it's cool to see a little nod to the past. I'm going to open it up because it looks like there's a second sticker sheet in there as well. Back at this time, some of the decals were pre-attached in the same way that we see them now. But unlike the stuff that we see, a lot of the stickers we see now are sort of optional. The stuff that's not optional, they have printed on there. But I do have this shark teeth, and for some reason this one is... Okay. So, you guys all saw that. That thing was definitely unopened in the box. It was sealed completely. I opened it up and I uncut it. But what I did not realize is that this sticker, which is this side, is already on the shark. It's perfectly applied, but only on one side. I wonder... Somebody, anybody, let me know if that's how they all are. I can see it's actually not applied perfectly. It's sticking out over the front. Weird. I could envision that they put the sticker on and said, hey, this is the side that faces out in the box. The label's got to be on it so to see it. Oh, it folds around. Okay, well, here. So again, I guess it's supposed to fold on the lip there. I'm not sure what to think about that. Would love to hear some feedback on why, how. Really unusual. Okay, anyway, that oddity aside, let's look at Grand Slam first before we look at the thing. I've said before that opening a vintage figure is, it's exhilarating. Because I'm talking about original O-Ring Joes. If you have not opened an O-Ring Joe, and I know that's a bit of an ask considering their age now, but it's a couple years ago, I got a Persuader that was not sealed but unassembled, and the backstop ding was not. He was still on the card, and I opened him. I don't know why I did that. That's not normal for me, but I did it, and I was blown away at just like a vintage Joe that had been taken care of, because the joints were just like you've never seen it. You do not buy a loose Joe, I feel like, that felt like this. No, it had never been repaired. Anyway, sorry, I'm getting off a tangent, but even this figure from 2009, out of the box, just like using the joints, just moving them, I'm like, whoa, man, this is so good. Everything feels so right. And most modern figures have started to already experience a little bit of degradation. Modern figures that use white, or especially, but it's really just this specific type of plastic they used for the body or torso. This is not an example of it, obviously, but figures that are like that, they are starting to yellow pretty aggressively. Mainframe, or data frame as he was called then, is a figure I see all the time that I had to replace from my personal collection because he was too yellowed. And I mean, this isn't like hermetically sealed or anything, but I try to keep it. There's no real reason for it to have gone yellow is what I'm getting at. Anyway, so there's definitely something to that. Just the like moving the figure and thinking about all the modern figures that I interact with on a kind of a regular basis and just being like, whew, it does not feel like this. This is not a great figure. I do love that it is let's start at the beginning, right? A Silver Pads Grand Slam doesn't belong with a shark. And although I'm in no mood to see a deep six with no posability, this ain't the guy, man. This is the Hal. We read the file card. He's a laser cannon dude. So they were just kind of putting like whoever they had left over. I do like that it's a Silver Pads Grand Slam. It's not, but again, the figure is pretty bad. The helmet doesn't fit. The head mold is not the worst, but really generic, kind of just bland. But the figure itself is actually not that bad. Like the silver, it is a Silver Pads Grand Slam. They didn't really change anything. I mean, it gets a pass. There's another, they make a regular Grand Slam with his regular colors. And I think it's the exact same mold. It's weird. These are so early in the modern line that they don't hold up as well as the stuff that came out at the end of the modern line. So I feel a little weird. You can customize a better, there's not a lot to these guys. So I think you can make a better one at this point. Oh, I still got some hangers on down here from my cut fest. All right, now let's take a look at the shark. I mean, the Night Specter. So stickers aside, it does look like all the stickers on this side are on, and none of the stickers on this side. So I'm guessing, again, I think that maybe was a display decision. I've just never seen that before. One of the torpedoes already fell off, so they are extremely easily removable as stated, and they're the same exact thing. People have noticed on modern figures for a long time that the plastic is different. We see that today too. All the plastic constantly changes based on cost, efficiency, health stuff, whatever. So yes, for all intents and purposes, this shark does indeed, to my amateur hands, seems like the real deal. It seems just like the exact same shark. I like this like subdued gray color. And let's see if our guns work. I think it pushes forward and, oh yeah, so easy. Oh, I love that. You have to wonder if I'm not obviously going to take it apart, but I wonder if they found ways to improve it. I'm going to say no. Again, I'm guessing it's just that the combination of the plastic of the 80s and the extensive use of that locking mechanism by children is probably why most sharks are not as functional. That's fun. And then we've got the canopy, which slings open, and you've got your, just a big bed for Deep Six to lay in. It doesn't close. Oh yeah, it does. It closes okay. I mean, I like this actually quite a bit. Something about the time of this plastic is, when these came out, everybody was like, it's not the plastic we had as a kid, we don't like it. And now I think we've kind of accepted that that's just not going to happen for whatever reason, because we've seen multiple iterations of figures, vehicles, O-rings, all scales. They're always not the right plastic. It's something completely different. And we've just accepted it finally. And because of that, retroactively, I look at stuff like this and go, hey, this plastic's actually closer to the original plastic than the stuff we're getting now. I like it a lot more. Only other additional features on this shark are, of course, the little rudders. And it also has a little removable engine bay, which I used to love as a kid and I love as an adult. It's just a little piece for them to Cobra blasted them. Somebody's got to do repair work. You pop it out, and that's where the Joe goes to do the repair work. So there we have the Night Specter with Grand Slam. An interesting piece of history, unfortunately, my old friends that have grown up with this line. I like the Night Specter. I really cannot recommend enough opening a toy that has a little bit of an age to it. I think I'm gonna play around with this shark a little bit. I'll probably just use it as a shark. It's close. White and this gray are close enough. It's not trying to sell you that it's a Cobra vehicle or anything out of the ordinary. Or it could be used in place of the Night Force shark as well, or the modern version of it, however you want to sell it. It's just not as dark a black as the Night Force one. Yeah, this gets a pretty high grade from me. I mean, reasonably affordable without looking. Sorry, hold on. I'll go see how much one costs. The cheapest Night Specter I can find unopened on eBay is $45. And I think that's probably a little too much for it, unless you're just really missing this one specific hole in your collection. But I would say that if you found it in the wild for $40 or less, unopened, it would be worth it. It would get a pass from me. I would pay that for it, just based on the experience I just had with you guys right now, just the thrill of opening it and having a new toy out there. I'll have to work on a rating system so we can rate the things that we look at here, and you guys can also weigh in on it as well. I would be very interested in that. Do you own a Night Specter? Have you seen an open one recently? What are your thoughts on it? Are there maybe too many sharks out there for this to even be moderately interesting for someone to purchase? You tell me. And while you're there, tell me what else you'd like to see. Is there other content that we are not covering that I can maybe dive into during this hiatus? I would like to get back into the comic in a big way, so maybe that's something I can tackle on my own for a little bit, and then Jaron can get caught up with us, because I know he's been interested in reading some stuff on his own. So we'll see what's going on with that. I just wanted to say thanks to everybody that's been writing us emails and leaving us comments. We appreciate it so much. We go through everything. I really take the content creation part of it seriously. I want to make the stuff that you guys want to see. So I read through all feedback, and I appreciate everybody that writes in and let me know what the pros and the cons are. I'll be back in 2 short weeks, and if we're fortunate, Jaron will join us, and we'll get caught up on some classified news. We'll talk about some stuff he's been picking up, just everything that's been going on in the meantime. Thanks so much for watching, and I look forward to talking to you again in just 2 short weeks, where anything's available for discussion here on Anything Joe's.